Society is depending more and more on connectivity and digital devices. The impacts of this can feel overwhelming at times, especially for seasoned educators. But we do know a great deal about how people learn, and that really hasn't changed. It is my promise to you that a well-designed learning experience created with solid pedagogical understanding that acknowledges and draws on brain science will achieve its goals. If you are an educator, then you would have studied a lot of learning theory. You probably just inherently use this as you make the hundreds of decisions you need to make on a daily basis in the classroom or online. That's the thing with theory. It informs perspectives and decisions in ways you can't always explain. During my 4-year teaching degree, there was no fast track options back then. I often questioned why I was learning so much theory. As an actions-orientated person, I was itching to get into the classroom. It wasn't until I graduated and was left alone to teach 30 Year 3 students in a complex school that I was thankful for the rigour in my degree. I had a somewhat invisible toolkit I was drawing on in every moment. Unfortunately, a teaching degree is only mandatory for K-12 teachers. Anyone else in education can do certificates, short courses, or learn on the job to bridge the understanding gap. Now, I'm not placing judgment on this, as there are many brilliant educators from all academic and non-academic backgrounds. It's just really important to note. As adults, it's pretty easy for us to relate and understand the principles of adult learning, and we have a lot of learning theory reaching mainstream, as we all realise the ways in which the education system has let us down. For example, in 2008, John Medina took neuroscience mainstream when he released the book Brain Rules. There are 12 rules in this book, but here are the 4 rules that apply directly to education. Rule number 4, people don't pay attention to boring things. Rule 5, repeat to remember. Rule 10, vision trumps all other senses. And Rule 12, we are powerful and natural explorers. So let's look at Rule 4. People don't pay attention to boring things. Well, that sounds pretty logical. So what does he suggest that we do? He says create learning hooks. These can be emotive, humorous, and visual. They should run throughout the whole learning experience. We should switch modes often and chunk content as people start to check out after 10 or 15 minutes. Hence why we've worked hard to make this video under 7. Simplify content as much as possible and connect it to the learner. This is because the brain processes meaning before it does details. Even though this sounds easy to accept and agree with, putting this into practice is still something many educators struggle with. I've also seen this idea taken too far, in that people are thinking that they have to turn their online courses into somewhat of a Netflix production to entertain us. Personally, if I want to be entertained by costumes and characters, I'll go to the theatre or a movie. If I want to learn something, I want a beautifully designed experience on an easy-to-use platform that engages my creativity and challenges me just enough to learn. Now let's look at Rule 5, repeat to remember. This sounds fairly logical, but what it really means is encode first by connecting the learning to something else and personalising it. It also means that we need to use retrieval techniques to cement new neural pathways. This is what we mean when we talk about active learning components of a digital learning experience. We are asking the learner to engage in something, bring some new learning up and apply it somewhere else. Also, you can improve retrieval by replicating the conditions surrounding the initial encoding. That basically means that if you learn something complicated in one environment, you're probably going to retrieve that information in the same type of environment. Rule number 10, vision trumps all other senses. Now here's a quote from John Medina. We don't see with our eyes, we see with our brains. So what can we do? Well, we need to harness the power of pictures and diagrams and use them to your advantage. We need to bring the learning to life for your students. This is where the correct use of videos can help. And we need to care about the aesthetics. In digital education, this rule really helps us understand why the visual design of an online course is so important. We respond subconsciously to colours, fonts and orientations. A clunky visual design can distract the learner. And finally, Rule 12. We are all powerful and natural explorers. And here is another quote from John, again that really sums this up. I wish classrooms and businesses were designed with the brain in mind. If we started over, curiosity would be the most vital part of both the demolition crew and the reconstruction crew. Basically, what he's saying is that we've really not designed our spaces to fit our brains. We've literally designed systems that kill our natural creativity and curiosity. We need to rethink it all. So, in the context of online, how often have you gone down the proverbial rabbit hole on the internet? That's you exercising your natural curiosity. So, there are many more frameworks and theories that tell us all we need to know. We also have our own lived experience to guide us. Take a moment now to think about how you learn. What worked for you in school and what didn't? What works for you now as a busy adult? On top of this, I urge you to go one step further and daydream about a learning experience that you would just love to have. This is how we raise the bar, by first using the mind to imagine the learning experiences we hope to have in the future. Then together we will start to create them in the physical.